I spoke to two TD people. I think they're both managers. One was Anthony Sala. He came over. Um, Basically, they were both kind of speaking about the same thing, which I actually believe, I think maybe the media has a little bit to play into this, but I think both of them, both Drake and Kendrick, have radicalized fans. His objection, he said, yo, some of this stuff on social media and some of the conversation, the shit is over. It's gone too far and getting too far. They're bringing up people's wives, people's kids, and people that are people who are not public figures. Say anything about Dot. It's whatever. But there's other people getting dragged into this that's not public figures. Now, I agreed. This battle is over. It's old. But what I can't agree with when it comes to them having that demeanor, both of y'all are complicit.
Yo, this your boy Top Shelf News, man. Today we talking about Akedimiks and him breaking down and explaining what happened when he went to an event last night and bumped into TDE members that were kind of pressing him about his relationship with Drake and how invested in the Drake and K-Dot situation is he.
I spoke to two TD people. I think they're both managers. One was Anthony Sala. He came over. Basically, they were both kind of speaking about the same thing, which I actually believe, I think maybe the media has a little bit to play into this, but I think both of them, both Drake and Kendrick, have radicalized fans. His objection, he said, yo, some of this stuff on social media and some of the conversation, the shit is over. It's gone too far and getting too far. They're bringing up people's wives, people's kids, and people that are people who are not public figures. Say anything about Dot. It's whatever. But there's other people getting dragged into this that's not public figures. Now, I agreed. This battle is over. It's old. But what I can't agree with when it comes to them having that demeanor, both of y'all are complicit. And that's why I even suggested, well, I ain't saying y'all got to patch it up with Drake, because I don't think he want to patch it up with y'all neither. But y'all should probably try to quit, because most of this is coming from charged up fan groups or audiences that are super fans of both people. So if y'all say y'all don't want people to talk about y'all wives and y'all this, well, y'all got to realize where this came from. Y'all called a man a pedophile. He said your son or Kendrick's son wasn't his. Then y'all said he got a daughter, which nobody found. Y'all brought it there first. Y'all can't get on the fans. Now, granted, I think what he's saying, and I agree with, the fans need to let this shit go. And he's talking about radical fans, just like still posting about what, still posting, I don't know, some of these guys' family members, but still posting them, still talking about them in whatever derogative light. That's the stuff that, they're like, because I guess, these people are probably seeing it and they're like, damn, I'm not a public figure. I can't defend myself. Makes sense. But it is both ways. And I try to let them know it is both ways. This isn't something where it's only a certain group of people doing it. This is where the battle, or obviously the battle is over. This is where it's at. So if I said the divisiveness in hip hop, if that still bothers y'all, that should subside on both sides. He comes into my suite, comes in Dolo. Me and him, we chopping it up. I get a drink. I was drinking. Me and him, we chopping it up. And it's the first time talking to him. Very reasonable guy. Let me say this. Very reasonable guy. His conversation went from there because, again, I told him, I said, yo, this is both ways. Yo, put it like this. I don't see nobody who doxes people more than K-Bots. And here's the thing. When Drake fans do things, they look at Drake to say he's almost orchestrating this. That's how people look at it when Kendrick fans do things. Oh, that's what y'all orchestrate. That's what I'm saying. Most of the shit is fan shit at this point. So cool. Me and him, we're chopping it up. And in, speaking about, obviously he's going forward, this and third. He also mentions, because at first, when he first walks up, he says, he says, bro, why did you let that kid come on your stream? He lied on me. And he was saying in a way like, yo, bro, you letting Drake run plays to put people on your stream. Now, I had to correct that, and I'm going to stand on this. I won't give up any names. But the person who came on to talk about botted streams, go find the kid, and y'all can find out. Again, I don't want to give up people's names. This was not from Aubrey Drake Graham. That was not from him. That was not from OVO. That's from people who in and around work with Dot. I'll say that. I'm not saying this as innuendo. I'm saying this as facts. I'm not saying that these people work directly, but that's their orbit. That's very important to say. So I said to Mr. Saleh, right? Brother, I get, what I've realized is that there's a lot of emotions. I don't have no emotions to this shit like this. Y'all can see, I can still bump Euphoria. I don't give a fuck. I had the most successful year in hip hop that I've ever had. I don't care like that. They do. I could tell he was, I won't use that word, the E word. He was, let's say, passionate. And I said to him, I run a media outlet. When someone brings me that info, we are going to run it. Just like someone came to me and said, Drake scammed me. If I was operating as Drake's little tool or whatever, pawn, I wouldn't have Julian up here trying to explain how he felt top 5 and Drake scammed him out of millions. So the point is, what I told him is that that's how media works, brother. I get y'all are involved with this guy or back and forth, and you're viewing anything that comes out about you to think it's directed from there. But I could tell you it's not. And I've ran things that doesn't make Drake look in a good light. And Drake, he has to know by now, you know who Ak is. I remember telling that to Dave Free. I said, Dave Free, I've been doing this shit way before I covered y'all. I did it back to War and Chirac days, brother. So when you talk about how I view things or how I present things, this ain't nothing I started yesterday. I've been doing me the same way. Okay. So I talked to Mr. Sala, and he gave me some info. I think I can say all this shit. This shit shouldn't be private. So he told me, which, again, these are allegations, but I'll tell you what he told me. He said, Ak, here's the thing. The reason why even I had to come over here and holler at you, dog, that dude who said that shit, he's lying. I never paid for no botted things. I said, well, he sent a screenshot, whatever. I said, maybe he's lying. I don't know. But that's what the kid said. He said, well, that shit has got me in a federal lawsuit now. So what are you talking about? He said, they subpoenaed my phone for Drake's lawsuit. They took it. That is bothersome. Again, that ain't, again, that is something that probably is very annoying, but hey. Now, y'all know my demeanor towards Drake's lawsuit. I don't think it will wholly be successful at the end. But then I get a little bit more info. And again, this is why this is why you got to pop out and show niggas. Because this is where I get, Kendrick's team never talked to me. They stopped talking to me as soon as the battle starts. They stopped, there used to be some communication. The guy named Kojo, me and Kojo did mad business together. Kojo hasn't said a word to me in English language since it is what it is. So here's the thing. Um. Oh, now I remember. Now I remember because I was having a conversation with them. And if you're hearing this, because when we were speaking directly, face to face, Mr. Dayfree, when I referred reference to 2022, and I said, because he said, "Why didn't you hit us up if you're coming today?" And I said, "Brother, why would I hit y'all up if y'all haven't talked to me in years that y'all could line me up? I'd rather catch y'all as a surprise, even though that's not my energy. But I'd rather y'all not be prepared for me." Anyway, so he says, "Yo, remember in 2022 at the Miss Morale tour, I was standing right next to you. Like, I showed you a lot of hospitality." I said, "You did." He also said, which was a confusing thing, he said, "I didn't even know how you got to there." And I was like, "Huh?" I said, "Brother, back then, I didn't really go to concerts like that." I said, "Y'all invited me." And he was like, "Nah, we never invited you." No, my memory has recollected. I was invited, and you could do the homework on this. 2022 by Kojo. Me and Kojo have done many business together. #1 digital guy, #1 blogger. We've ran it up. Don't you worry. He works for y'all exclusively now. Ask him, did you give act tickets to Kendrick's concert? He works for y'all now. So if you're wondering, I didn't remember in the moment because I'm like, no, it came from y'all. But he was working for y'all, and he gave me tickets that time. Okay. Anyway, I'm still with Mr. Sallow. So what he says to me, and this is all news to me, and you got to take it with a grain of salt because, again, because we've seized communication, it's the first time I'm hearing these things. It's the first time I'm hearing that they took this guy's phone because now they're looking for these allegations of botting. I didn't know. They don't put this info out anywhere, so I could only find out when I pop up. Cool. Which, by the way, he claims he's never botted. So they will find that out. Also, he made a point that I actually agree with a bit. He said, "I'm surprised Drake is doing the corny shit of suing because the same way he don't talk to his label, we don't talk to our label. We just pop up and turn our album in. So how the hell could we be in cahoots with UMG for anything?" Okay. So we're continuing to talk because, again, no. This is when, what's the name of that song? Euphoria drops. And I told him, give me one, because we're sitting right next to each other. I said, give me 1 second, sir. I got to go watch Euphoria. I like Euphoria as a song. So I got to go turn to Euphoria. I did that. Got some more drinks. He comes back over. Now we're talking again. So he says to me, because I was like, yo, even with you being put into this battle, Drake posted you, right? Like, why are you upset if other people have mentioned you when the two main people dragged other people into it? Well, he said Drake posted me because Drake know me. Now, I don't know what that means. He said he know me. Apparently he's from Toronto too. I don't know. But then he said, here's the thing. He said, you should, and this is what I don't know. And I'm going to ask Drake. I'm like, Drake, is this true? He says, you should have heard this nigga Drake, what he was saying to us before we whipped his ass. This is what he told me. I said, what do you mean? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I never really knew Drake speaking to anybody. Like, Drake has told me he hasn't spoken to Dot directly, but I didn't know about if he spoke to anybody else in and around Dot. Anthony Saleh, he confirms to me, yes, Drake was sending me voice notes talking crazy like he's a mob boss. That's what he says. He says Drake is saying to him, Drake is saying shit like, yo, I'm gonna done you like just talking crazy like, yo, you niggas is washed. Yo, you got like you guys think you could finish me? Da-da-da. Crazy. All of a sudden, they're like, then we drop the bomb, right? Cool. Not like us here talking. All right. Then he gives me some more insight. And I ain't gonna lie to you. This was worth going to the concert for this insight. I live off insight like this. He says, that Pusha T shit is real. He says the only problem is people think that happened recently. That didn't happen recently. He said if it was recently, UMG would let Pusha say whatever he want to say or do what he want to do. Why? Right now, UMG and Drake, their relationship might be irreparably broken because of the lawsuit. They're going at it. So they're not trying to spare his feelings anymore. But you told me. Not Like Us dropped last May. He said around June, July, because Drake supposedly approached UMG saying, yo, there's just a shooting at my house. These niggas got my house, which another thing, which again, you know, one point kind of counteracts the other. They say this shit going too far. I'm like, I can see how a nigga might think y'all went too far. Your cover art of the biggest song is his house with pedophilia pinpoints. But whatever. So he said Drake complained to UMG because remember there was a shooting at the crib. And UMG asked Kendrick's team, could you remove the cover art? We need you to take the cover art down. It got his house on it. We want you to take that down. From what I heard, they stood 10 toes down to say, if we do that, the whole song should come down. We're not changing shit. UMG, who clearly is in it for the bread, is like, keep that shit up. Nah, they ain't say that, but like, basically they just allowed it, right? Cool. However, while all of this is brewing, apparently that's when the Pusha T thing happens. And that's when UMG, who is really at that point on a rocky relationship with Drake, they're trying to salvage the relationship. They tell Pusha, hey, right now, you can't drop nothing dissing the guy. We're trying to work on our relationship with him. Could you change this? Could you change that? Now, I'll be honest. He didn't say Drake instructed them to do this. He said they were trying to save a relationship with Drake, the label. So they were being extra sensitive about things that could piss the guy who I guess he was gearing up to sue. Okay? All right, I'll speed through the story a little bit. Yeah, pretty good conversation with Anthony Stella. Seems like a pretty good dude, pretty smart. He's a business guy. Then Dave Free comes over. And Dave Free, he's like, yo, let me talk to you for a second, bro. We go talk. And we get into that we've met each other. It was whatever, cool. And his point subsequently ended at this, his point of interest or point of conversation subsequently ended with exactly what Anthony said. But at first he was kind of like, I felt like he was almost asking me like, yo, bro, like, why are you doing us like that? And I was just like, what do you mean? And I was asking him, I'm like, yo, you do understand I've been doing this for a long time. You understand my POV was going to lie a certain way. What do you mean? Get to a point where eventually he even says, like, bro, how much is he paying you for this? And I'm so stupid. In the moment, I'm thinking, wait, you think Drake paid me to come here? What the fuck? So I think I even said, nigga, nobody knows I'm coming here. Even Drake, nigga, what the fuck? Like, what do you think Drake will pay me to go to a concert? What the fuck? No, then he said, no. I'm like pay you for all of this shit that you're saying. And I'm like, huh? He's like, bro, like, I want to know what you're getting from this. And that's who I think he's a smart businessman, But that's when I was just like, wait, they thought Drake bought me? I've never been more insulted in my life. I've never been more insulted in my life, Chad. Nevertheless, I told him, I said, brother, let me just be honest with you. Most of the people I've supported the most in hip hop, they've never given me a dime, including Drake. That's not how it works. I say, I'm in media. And I said, this is the reason why you do your thing. You do a great job managing, whatever. I'm in media. My job is not to extort artists. We make like, and you know I'd be offended by when people say that, brother. Do I look broke? Like when y'all see me, I'm dripping in diamonds. Like I got the cars. What the fuck? Why do y'all think a rapper could buy me? I shit on rappers. Not saying I can shit on Dot or Drake. When it comes to nigga, 99% of these rappers don't got what I got. That is so insulting to me. I know how big I get. So I'm like, what? Please don't insult me like that. So I explained to him I've been doing this for a long time, for a very long time. And the idea that I could be paid to say or think or move like is absolutely ludicrous. What I did explain to him, though, my platform, it benefits us every time we're the center of everything. And he mentioned, Dot mentions you. Dot could have went crazy. He didn't go crazy. And I said, I know. I pointed that out many times. But the idea that I'm getting paid by either side, and by the way, I'm not insinuating that's how they move or that's how they operate with people in the media. I'm not saying that. But I just have to speak for me. I tell him, as long as my platform is in the mix of everything, I always win. Win, lose, or draw. I always win. Other than Dot, the biggest winner of the battle was Big Ak. I don't know what y'all think. So the point is, I had to let him know. I hope that's not what you think is happening. He seems like he understood, and then that's when he went into Anthony Sala's point, which was, he had one direct question for me. He said, Ak, he said the only reason I came to talk to you because I wanted to know how personal, and this is when I realized I'm like, some of the shit that Drake said about this guy, and some of the narratives that's continued, it's affected him. And I understand why, because these are hurtful things that could affect anybody else. People have said things about me that hurt my feelings as well. He said, I wanted to know, is this just content, or is this something that you're carrying personally? And I was kind of like confused, because I said to him, wait, are you asking if I'm here to slide for Drake? Like I didn't say that directly, but that's the thought. Are you asking that's what is happening here? But he was really interested to know how personal all of this back and forth is to me. Because he said, if it's personal to me, he made it clear it's personal to him. Well, we could get at it. And we got a bunch of people, left, right, and center, him and I both, we could get to it. And I said to the brother, and again, I'm watching him, and, his eyes, I'll say the eyes. It reeks of passion, and I understand why. I said to him, do you think that if it was that personal to me and it was smoke, I would come to your concert? What do you think? If I care that much about whatever you and Drake got, that I said if I see one of y'all niggas, something's gonna happen, why would I come to the belly of the beast? I never said he was crying, but looking him eye to eye, he was passionate as a motherfucker about these things he was speaking about. Again, he landed on the point. There are a lot of things that have continued post-battle that is ultimately hurtful. Narratives, criticisms about people who aren't necessarily public figure. They mentioned criticisms about certain women that definitely affects them. And I agreed. And I said to him, it feels like, and he knows I said this. By the way, there was a guy, because I guess when Anthony Sala came over, and he had a couple guys with him, and it was about even. I think they doubled back, and they were like, yo, bring 2 more and then bring a nigga to record. I don't know. There was another nigga, he's over there like this. He's over there like this. And I'm like, there's no need to record me. I tell the whole story, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. You can't record me. There's no need to record me. I'm the recording. I go tell the story. I always tell the story. Like, there's nothing where like you put the video up like, that's not what happened. No. So, and I only noticed it because my guy afterwards, and I peeped the whole surrounding, he's like this the whole time. But really, you could hear the conversation. So PG Lang got the conversation somewhere. And if anything I'm saying does not reflect the actual reality of the conversation we're having, they have it recorded. They could absolutely put it out. So this guy recording is kind of being like, you know. Again, if I'm saying anything that is a match, the spirit, the energy, the words, the verbiage, the entire totality of the conversation, I give them permission. They can put it out, please. So, what else did he say? Yeah, so I said to him, I feel like some of the stuff that you're saying to me is misguided because you can't say it to him. And I'm saying him I was referring to Drake, which he somewhat conceded to, saying, yeah, that's why also my energy is chill. And by the way, his energy was chill. My energy was chill. No, everybody was chill. I'm like, let's not act, everybody was chill. He says, yeah, like if I came out here tripping, it would be like I'm doing something or trying to do something to somebody when I really mean for it to be over there. And I said, yeah, I would agree. All in all, again, the final and main question was, is this personal or is this content and business? And I'm sorry, I've never met Drake. I'm sorry. I met Dot one time before he was famous. Brother, there's nobody bigger than the chat. I'm running my shit over here, okay? So whatever y'all call him, what I want to say to both sides, and again, I love Drake. Drake's my man. Like I love Drake, but like again, I'm not a Drake killer. I'm not top 5. My assessment of this whole thing, I think both sides need to take accountability. Yes, fans and media do have some accountability to take, but y'all can't say why this shit get to this level when y'all kicked it off by saying this man fucks kids. Then he also says, well, your kid ain't yours. Both of those are out of bounds. Both of those are out of bounds. But I've told y'all, this is the beef. This is the beef where if somebody got clipped, I wouldn't be surprised. They're talking hot. So I guess I'll leave it at this. Y'all going to Toronto in 2 days. They over there. They over there. Y'all got to go talk to them. Don't talk to me. Don't y'all say Drake don't even do a stream with me. Come on now. Y'all can't talk to me about that. Y'all know where Drake at? Drake know where y'all at? Other than that, man, just keep making y'all money. And by the way, here's the thing. The demeanor was not a demeanor of the winners last night. It wasn't. The performance was. Not the demeanor of anybody else. I do social media, so I know once you open Pandora's box, you can never close it. These fans are going to continue to torment. They're going to continue to bully, harass, dox. You get what I'm saying? They're going to do things way beyond the scope of what maybe 2 men face to face would do. They're going to do that. But once you open Pandora's box, It's open. And again, I know I play a very important part in media. So I will definitely accept that there's a role that maybe platforms like mine has that maybe amplifies some of this Looney Tune behavior. I will say that. But let's be very clear. Y'all called him a pedophile. He say that man's kid ain't his and it's yours. Y'all man need to go thump it out, shoot it out, figure it out, or keep doing y'all thing. And just remember, as long as the bank account on the 1st and the 15th, they keep ringing, you won. Okay? It ain't that personal to me. But I could tell last night it's very personal. All right?
So y'all heard DJ Akedimiks breaking down about what happened when he basically got pressed by TDE managers, which are Kendrick Lamar managers, about his relationship with Drake and how far he's willing to go and how hard he's willing to ride for Drake. So y'all heard him in his words how it happened. I don't know if he's telling the truth. I don't know if he's sugarcoating a little bit of it and they really pressed him a little harder, but I don't know. Akedimiks ain't really known to lie about, he kind of tell the truth on himself. He don't really care. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I believe him. So that's what it is, man. Akedimiks basically got pressed by Kendrick Lamar's managers about Drake kind of putting everybody else into him and K Dot's situation. So that's that, man. That's what happened, man. The reaction, man. Top shelf news. And we out.